Performer there, 17-time Guinness World Record holder, that is for basketball dribbling and ball handling. That is Joe the Dribbler Odhiambo joins us right now, right here on Top Spot, and he's been doing this for 7 years. I tell you, 7 years. What got you started?
Well, I just wanted something to do because I just stopped playing college basketball, and I thought I wanted to have some fun with basketball. So I thought basketball handling would be something good to kind of continue with the same tradition of playing basketball every day.
All right. Tell us briefly, just what keeps you going, because I see Edge is slowly catching up. You started all this, you took part, you were one of the participants of the 1987 All-Africa Games when Kenya hosted that event right here in Nairobi at the Kasarani Stadium. And you're one of the team players for the national basketball team. Since then, your star has been on the rise.
Well, yeah, it's not that hard. It's just make a commitment.
All right.
And I like to practice. I like to stay in shape. So what I do is every day when I have time, I go out to the court and I practice. I go on a good day. I probably would go maybe 4 hours a day because I want to be better at what I do.
Right.
And I like to compete in a freestyle where we go up and we just outdo each other.
How often do you practice?
At least I go 2 hours a day because I have to work on my timing, because most of the skills here that I do, I can do them, but I want to be able to do them the first time. So you have to keep working on your timing, because if your timing is off, then you can repeat something a lot of time and it doesn't look very good. So you want to be able to do it just first time.
All right, your journey started right here in Nairobi, in Mathare, when you got a scholarship going to US. Just give us a brief on that.
I went to St. Rita's secondary school for my primary and secondary, where we actually won 3 national championships.
All right.
And then from there, I went on to E10 in Eldoret. And out there again, I won 2 more championships. And we were the first team in Africa to beat RVA.
All right.
Yeah, RVA had never lost to any team in 94 years. And my team got to be the first time. And there was somebody there that was watching the game. And he thought, I think that guy's pretty good enough. I think he could do well in the United States. And that's how I got the scholarship to go to Arizona, and I played at Kenyan University.
How's it been so far? You started off from a little bit of, if I could say, a poor background going into where you are right now.
Well, I was lucky enough because when I went to E10, we had the Patrician Brothers, and they used to invite American sailors to come down. Maybe the Marines would come in the start of school. Right. We would watch them, and we had some videos that we would see about the state, and we just kind of talk to them and ask them, how does it feel to be up there? But still, it's a culture shock when you go up there from this environment to that one there. It's a little bit different. Right. But you can actually adjust to it. You can just work hard and do what you're supposed to do, and it's all kind of fits in.
Talking of culture shock, you left here when you were a little bit overgrown up, if I could, I can say so. Yeah. Still talking some Luo?
Oh, I still, I do understand a lot of it in Swahili too, but over there's only a few of us, so we rarely get to speak to Swahili or Luo, but I understand, but really breaking it down, it's a little bit kind of interesting. Yeah.
It is everybody's dream to take part in the NBA. That is in the NBA, being one of the players in any club that comes from the NBA. Just talk to me. You are only short of, say, 7 inches or 7 centimeters, I could say so.
When I was here, my nickname was Big Joe. When I was in Kenya, I was the big guy around. I was one of the biggest guys in the team, and I played center. All right. So when I went to the United States and my team, Kenyan University, I was the second shortest guy in the team at 6'3" and a quarter. 6'3". We had a 6'1", 6'3", 6'9", 6'10". We had 3 players that were 7 foot tall. So you go up there, you're going like, okay, this is pretty big, but you know what? You just have to put in the work, and it doesn't matter how tall you are, how short you are. If you can get the job done, the good thing about the state, they will give you an audience. All right,
but NBA requirements for a guard is 6'10"?
Well, for a guard, you could be 6'10", but what you need to do, you need to be able to handle the basketball, because Magic Johnson, 6'9", and he's a guard. LeBron James, 6'7", 6'8", he's a guard. So for a guard, you can go from 5'7", Muggsy Bowl all the way to 6'10". But for a forward, you have to be at least 6'8". All right. And then to be a center, you have to be 6'11" and 250 pounds.
All right. So far, how has your dribbling talents, how far has this taken you?
Oh, it has taken me all over. I have traveled all over the world. I worked as a contract worker for the NBA. I've been to 16 NBA All-Star, and I have met every NBA player alive. In 2006, when I set the world record for spinning one basketball for the longest time, I had a chance to visit with Michael Jordan and Clyde Drexler.
All right.
That was amazing.
It was indeed. And you've been doing this for 7 years now. Just talk to me about how you've tried to impact this to the upcoming youngsters in basketball.
Yeah, I have a program called Character Count, and we focus more on character. You have to have character not to succeed. So when I go out to school, I put on an assembly and I tell them, so the character count, you have to respect yourself, you have to respect others, and you have to work hard. On top of it, you also have to behave well and have something to do. So I use this as a character count where you can go out there and you can succeed, and it doesn't matter where you start from. What is important is where are you going. As long as you are heading forward, you are getting there. So character really counts, and you have to have character in order to be able to make it in any field that you choose to get into.
What is the impact that you're making, perhaps, about the program that you have? You've been having some talks with youngsters, and what has the impact been?
Well, it's a good response. The first time when they see me doing all this, they're going like, oh no, that guy is very, very good. But when I tell them, hey, wait a minute, I am one of you guys, and I grew up just down the street in Mathare, and they go like, you were in Mathare? And tell them, yeah, I was there. And I was there, and I worked hard, and this is how I worked hard, and this is where I got to. And so they're able to see somebody like, hey, that guy just me. So they're inspired, if I work hard, I can actually get there. But then I tell them once again, gotta be responsible, do what needs to be done to be able to get there, and it seems to be working pretty good.
All right, about you developing the talents by just talking to the guys, you watched, or rather you also heard about how Kenya participated, that is the Moran's team, the African basketball tournament. You've been here for a few days so far, and you've been following up on Kenya's performance in basketball. How do you see, or how do you rate the team so far and the growth of the sport?
I was very, very impressed, because the first time I read about they beat Nigeria, I was like, okay, wait a minute. I know those guys are good. But then every time I looked at the internet, they keep getting better and better, and it's very impressive that they've gone that far. And I decided, you know what, when I come down, I'm going to jump into the bandwagon. I'm going to go ahead and try also to promote them and let them know that you're doing a good job. So everywhere we go, we tell them, you know what, look at those guys. They've done really, really well, and I'm looking forward to see how they're going to do in the All-African Games.
It was a different story for the women's team, though.
well, you have to start somewhere. But the only thing that we were in '87, we missed the Olympic by one spot. But it has taken 37 years for them to actually get to where we were. Okay. So we want us guys to continue working hard, and we do not need that big of a gap. We want them to continue moving forward, and we're going to go ahead and give them all the support that we need, and we're going to go up and promote them, and hopefully everybody else will jump into the bandwagon, and let's go, Moran.
All right, what do you think should be done? Because you know where we are right now at the moment in basketball in the country. What more do you think should be done to try and improve the sport?
There is 4 things very quickly that need to be done. The first one is we need infrastructure, because we do not have where kids can go and play. When I was playing basketball here, we had courts all over, so we would go up and play. When we have infrastructure, that means we can have an audience. In the United States, 26 million people play basketball. So you have a pool of 26 million people to pick 12 players. And in those 26 million people, you can find 10 LeBron James. Out here, we have only a small number, and it doesn't matter how good you were, you cannot pick a whole lot of people from that number there. And then we also need role models. Michael Jordan is not a role model to any of the skin in the village over here, because he's far out there. But guys like me here, and even the Moran, when they go out into the village, into the school and talk to kids, they identify with them because they know, I see that guy every day. So they can identify with that. And then finally, we need coaches. But coaches fall to the end of the rug because you need talent. If I'm 6'4", and there's a guy that's 7'4", it doesn't matter how much coaching I get, the guy will get over. So we need to be able to get more people playing. We need more infrastructure. And from that big pool, we'll be able to find the next Michael Jordan right here. But we have to have that one.
I've read a bit about your programs, and something that you've mentioned is persistence. Perhaps something you want to tell the youngsters who are coming up in this sport of basketball in the country. It will not be a motivator because less infrastructure in the country, facilities are not there to try and motivate them. But what motivation would you have for them?
Well, you want to be because right now, sport is one of the biggest area that you can actually move forward. When I was going to St. Teresa's, I wanted to be a basketball player, and I knew that if I play really well, I can get a scholarship. So from St. Teresa's, I got a scholarship to go to St. Patrick's 10. And then from there, I worked really hard, and then I got another one. So sport is a vehicle that you can use to get to where you want to go. So I would urge them to go ahead and pick what you like doing and be the best you can, because there's somebody else somewhere there that's doing the same thing that you're doing. So if you go up there and you work hard and you keep at it, it's going to hurt sometime. That's a given, but persist. Be consistent and keep coming back, and I can tell you at the end of the road, there's a reward, but you have to go get it.
There is a tournament that you're in partnership with James Kamau, who can just join me briefly. James Kamau coming in from the founder of Beyond Hope. This tournament is also one way in the country right now to try and motivate the sport.
Yeah. So it's actually not a tournament. We're planning a camp, which is called Dare to Dream. I run Beyond Hoops Africa, which is an organization that empowers young people through basketball and education. As Joe was talking about character development, so we focus on building young people on and off the court. So on Saturday the 24th, we're putting up a half-day event where we're going to have ball handling skills at the Charter Hall. And right after that, Joe is going to attempt to set a new record, which is going to be spinning 2 basketballs for the longest time. So we are very honored because NTV is coming on board as one of our partners in Nairobi County.
All right, as we sum this up, perhaps you've heard what he says.
Yeah.
Are they viable options that we have for the improvement of the sport?
Absolutely. Him and I have been in touch for a long time. You know, we connected through Facebook because I've been following him up because I played basketball here in Kenya. I played for Java Warriors. Then I moved to Canada. I've been there for the last 15 years. So when I came back home last year and I have the passion for the game, I decided to start Beyond Hoops Africa so that I can make life easier for the kids that are behind us. So the issues of infrastructure, everywhere we go, it's the same challenges affecting young people. Yesterday we did a camp with Joe at Makadara Boys Center, which is a shelter for reformed street kids. And they only had 1 basketball. And there was like 60 kids there. So we brought all our basketballs and, you know, they had a lot of fun. So the passion is there. The talent is definitely there. So it's just a matter of us getting organized, you know, building the infrastructure that is needed. And in a few years' time, you know, we're going to be just pumping players in the NBA from Kenya.
All right, as we wrap this up, Kenya Basketball Federation has a leadership. Are you pleased with the current leadership at the Basketball Federation?
Whoa.
Just briefly.
It's putting us on the spot.
I know, man. Briefly, because you guys have seen what transpires through the league.
Well, I can say they're moving on the right direction. That's one. Because looking at what happened with the Morans, I think they got all the support that they needed. It is very unfortunate for what the Lioness, you know, team had to go through. But I think, you know, as much as for us as the basketball community, you know, we can stand back and point fingers. But at the end of the day, what are we doing to support the game? And I think that's the conversation that we need to have right now. Is that as much as, you know, KBF is doing what they're doing, how can we bring in our 2 cents, our support, you know, our connections, and make things better for the young people?
Joe?
As for me, it doesn't matter who is in charge. What matters is what you want and what is in you. I remember when I played basketball here, we didn't have a coach. I was never coached by anybody, but I wanted it, so I worked hard. So what is up there is not that important. What is important is what is everybody doing to get better, because if you work hard, they're scout. I'm a scout here. Somebody will see you, and when they see you, they're going to give you the chance. And they saw me, and they gave me a chance, and it can happen to you, but you just have to go out there and make it happen.
All right, indeed. It can be done. It can be done. And they're here to watch you and support you. And perhaps this may be your chance for you to go and be something that you've always wanted to be, and to be the best you can in this sport of basketball.
Definitely.
Away from that, we had Masai Ujiri, Toronto Raptors president, coming the country. And he had a lot to talk about the sports in the country and general basketball in the whole world. Listen in.